Oh, we got some goofed up stuff here. Let's turn this off. There we go. Look, a little screwed up. Alright. Well, we'll fix that later on. Anyway. So let's see, let's get these levels all right. And yeah, I think we are good to go. Okay. So last week, I wasn't able to stream on Wednesday. So I streamed last Saturday instead. But this week we're back on the regular schedule. So let's go. Today I'm going to do some creative coding inside of Adobe Animate. And yeah, I haven't done this in a while. So it should be a fun experiment. I don't do a ton of code anymore. I'm much more just into the design aspect of things and just creating motion graphics and visuals and all the rest. But yeah, every once in a while I like to revisit previous explorations and so forth. So that's what we're doing today. So welcome everyone who's live. Hello everyone in the replay. And quick diversion here. I have a book coming out at the end of this month, and it's on pre-order. Adobe Press has given me this. This is a 35% off code. So if you go to adobepress.com/Labrec and you use the code Labrec, then you get 35% off. Pretty cool. So check it out. It's the Adobe Creative Cloud Classroom in a book. It's the first of its kind. It covers every major desktop app that Adobe has. So it was a lot of work. So I appreciate anyone's support. All right, so let's get going. Email. Who's emailing? I don't care. Yeah, so let's go ahead. What I've got here is I've got an Animate document opened up, and it's just the basic canvas size. It's a canvas document, so it targets HTML5 canvas, which means that we're going to be using JavaScript to do any of the actual coding, the programming here today. And I want to keep this kind of like, excuse me. I want to keep this sort of completely purely code if I can. And let's see how far I can get with that. We could pull stuff out of the library, but I don't want to do that in this case. I want to keep this pure code. So for that, what we need to do is open up our Actions panel. The Actions panel can be had from Window and Actions. In the Actions panel, here it is. What this will do is this will allow us to write code inside of Animate here. And I'm just going to pop that over on the side because we don't really need much going on in the timeline or anything. You know, we could put it there, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. So I am going to go ahead and rename layer 1 to Actions and just lock it down. This is where all our code is going to live inside of this initial keyframe. I've always found, you know, Animate and Flash Professional before Animate to be really neat to be able to do both code and design together in sort of an integrated hybrid way. So it's something I always do enjoy using. And let's make sure that our preferences are set up correctly so that we're able to see a nice big font here. So I'm going to go Code Editor. We're at 16. That's pretty good. Let's go to 18. Make it nice and big. All right. So what do we need to do, right? The first thing we need to do is figure out what we want to do. So I've got reference material from books that I've written from the Easel.js website and so on that we can use as guides here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just create a background. So this is going to be sort of like our canvas, but it's not a canvas element. I don't want to use the word canvas because, of course, you know, it's sort of like a reserved term probably inside of either Create.js or JavaScript. And in either case, it's going to, you know, create some issues. And actually, I can make this a constant. I don't think it really needs to be a variable. So if I make this a constant, and I'll call it BG for background, and I'll set it equal to a new Create.js dot shape. Oops. Sometimes that autocomplete trips you up a little bit. All right, so new shape. And I'm trying to remember, there is a way to get to Create.js. Integrate this dot Create.js. Nope, doesn't seem to be that. This dot stage. Reach for us through the veil of purgation, but cannot touch us. No. Thing is, if you haven't done this stuff in a while, it becomes really mysterious, and you have to just guess at things. Let's see if we can find any properties here that I can get to. And you can see, you know, it does a really nice job letting us know kind of like different properties, different methods that we can call inside of here based on Create.js, based on Easel.js. Get child, matrix, get stage. See, one of the bad things about doing it inside of JavaScript is that we do have to do this, test it inside of a web browser, which is a real pain. Because when you're using stuff with ActionScript, yeah, I'm not seeing it in there. With ActionScript, you can just sort of like, you know, run it directly inside of your content, you know? Oh, Adobe Live is simulcasting our stream. Isn't that nice? Thank you, Adobe Live. So I imagine we'll be getting a few other people in here now that this is happening. But I'm going to say bg dot, and we're going to say bg dot graphics. So we've got the shape, and you can see for graphics, we've even got, you know, some autocomplete going on. We want to begin fill. So begin fill is right here. I can double click it. I can kind of tick down to it. And then we're going to pass in, you know, a color that we want. So I'm just going to pass in, I don't know, like a gray color. And I need to put this in quotes probably because it's a string, because it involves hex values. So I'm going to say CC, CC, CC. That should be a nice light gray color. And let's see, begin fill. And then we want to draw. We want to draw, not a circle, not an ellipse, draw a rectangle. And you can see here, it tells us like we have to pass in an X and Y position, which is going to be 0, 0 if I want it to be top left, and then a width and a height. So let's go ahead and do that. And by the way, this is probably going to take like a couple weeks to actually get something useful out of this. Again, we are just experimenting. So 0, 0. Actually, let's give us a little more room here. 0, 0. That's X and Y. And then the width is going to be 550 because that's our stage width. And actually, if I say stage, whoa. No, no autocomplete for stage. I keep doing spotlight, which I don't want to do. Create.js dot. See? Okay, now I get it for create.js. That's good. So yeah, there's lots of stuff here we can get. I go create.js stage. Oh, look at that. There we go. And it begins with a capital S. Stage. And then canvas. I don't think that's quite what I want. Stage. Dot. Stage width. Well, we can just pop in 550 because we know what it is. And 400 for height. And terminate that. So we begin a new fill on this shape that we're creating. The shape initially doesn't have any kind of actual appearance to it. So very similar to like if you're working inside of Adobe Illustrator, right? You don't really have any appearance to your paths. There is a default appearance, of course, which is a white fill and black stroke, but yeah, it's a little different here. So what we're gonna do is say, let's see. Oh, you can pass in. I'm just reading the docs here for this. It's kind of interesting. And then I imagine I'm going to have to add this to the stage. So, yeah, I draw the rectangle, but it doesn't exist on the stage quite yet. So if we go ahead and actually like run this. And inspect. So let's see if we have any errors. It's looking for a fave icon. Unexpected identifier, create.js. So, ooh, it's not good. Let's go back. This stops stage. I need to reference different material here. Let's bring up my little book. Stage dot. Yeah, it's just create.js, like straight up. Yeah, and one way you can do this. Well, I gotta fix this first. So create.js. Yeah, create.js. There we go. Create.js shape. So we'll see if that fixes things. So I've got the code here too for stage dot canvas dot width. And there's a little trick to this too. Sometimes I go in and I set a couple of constants up here for like stage width and set that equal to stage.canvas.width, right? But the thing is, like pixel density, you have to take into account. So I'm gonna do /window, which is of course just a basic JavaScript thing, is window. And we're gonna look for the device pixel ratio. And that'll give us the pixel ratio of the device. So, you know, if it's 1 time, 2 times, whatever. Pixel ratio. And we can do the same thing with the height of our canvas here. And actually this will come, it's good to create a couple constants around this. So stage height, instead of width, we're looking at height, of course. And again, divided by the window device pixel ratio. So something you can do here. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to like remember console.log. I am so rusty at JavaScript. It is kind of crazy. So we can output stage width, stage height, and just kind of see, you know, how are we doing? How's it going here? So let's give it a shot. And pull this over. Check out the console. Oh, look at that. Oh, of course. Of course. So it doesn't like that comma. So what we need to do is stage width, and then concatenate that with something like a comma. And then concatenate that with our other variable. Gosh, this is probably like super boring to most of you watching. Unexpected token again, huh? Line 57. Oh, you're not going to take me there? Might be at a different spot. That's the only place that I have a... Oh, you know what? I think it's right there. That's where it's getting pissed off. Let's give it another go. 3 times is the charm. Inspect, and there we go. So now we've got 550 by 400. And the reason for that is because it's coming back with the device pixel ratio as 1. So it's basically taking the stage canvas width, which is 550, height 400, and it's dividing it by 1, which of course is itself, right? Cool. Okay. Now we're on a roll. We got our stage width and our stage height. Not super exciting yet, but we're getting into it. So let's go ahead and create our new create.js shape. And then we're going to say background graphics, and then pop in stage width, stage height. All right, let's run it. Nope, didn't work. That should be gray. Although, oh, you know what? So it created it. This worked, actually, creating these this background shape. But we need to add it to our display list, right? So this dot add child, perfect. Add child. One of the nice things about create.js is that it was made to emulate the traditional Flash display list. So we're going to add our BG shape to... There we go. Look at that. Nice. First steps are sometimes the hardest. So you'll notice what happens too when I'm previewing this in the browser. A lot of people get tripped up on this with Animate. It actually spins up a little local web server. And the reason it does that is because of browser security constraints and stuff like that. Which things like that always used to drive me nuts when I did this for a living, programming and so forth. Okay, so let's go back. We've got that going on. And we could even turn this into something else. So I could create a function out of this. So function, I'm gonna call this draw BG. So if we encapsulate this into a function, then we need to invoke draw BG in order for it to actually work. So if I say draw BG down there, let's make sure I've got my my jazz ready to go here. So yeah, how's everybody doing today as well? I usually ask that because, you know. Oh, and I broke it. No. Why? This.add child is not a function at drawBG. Oh, okay. Oh, God. So here, this is a scope thing, right? So this, what comes out right here, like check this out. So if I go in here and I say console.log this, okay, so if I do that within the function and I do that outside of the function, say like right here, and then I go ahead and go for it, what's going to happen is it's going to show us two completely different objects, right? Because in JavaScript, scope is a big problem. You can see right there, check that out. So the first time it runs, it tells us, hey, you know, it is referencing the actual Animate content. So lib.creativeCoding. But if I do it within a function, it gives us the actual window property, which is not what we want, right? Now, how do I get around that? Let's try to remember, Joseph, how you pass in scope into, because there are ways to do it. I mean, we could just pass in this, right? Right here. This is a stupid way to do it, though. So I can say t, console log t, right? That should pass it through. And then I can say t add child. This is messy, though. I used to be a much better programmer. So you can see right here, it comes out just fine, and it shows us lib.creativecoding each time. I wonder if I were to go through and just actually set, you know, a variable up top here, so, or a constant. Let's just call it scope. Or I could call it root. That's something that we used to do all the time with ActionScript 2. Set it equal to this. So with ActionScript 2, we would often have to refer to the root as like the main kind of timeline. We'd have to refer to it as root. It's the root timeline. Okay, that worked. It's all coming back to me. Look at this. Ah, I feel so accomplished. Yes. And actually, the main reason I'm doing these items here, I'll just put that down at the bottom. Draw background. So we know this works at this point, which is perfect. So the reason we are doing this, that's cleaner. Let's just double check and make sure that works again. Yes, it does. Okay. As long as we see that gray rectangle, we know it's working. So we have set up basically a canvas to draw upon. And, you know, I could change the width and height of this. So maybe I want it to be like 600 by 600. Just make a complete square, 1-to-1 ratio square. If I play this now, you can see the code automatically adapts to it. And the reason it does that, of course, is if we look here, you know, we're setting the stage width and the stage height dynamically. Just based on what we set it over here in our document settings. We're just getting that information, and that is what is informing us to draw out the background inside of our draw BG. Pretty fun. Let me pop out the chat. And I'm not seeing anybody chat yet, so I'm probably just boring the hell out of you all, but there are a good amount of people here right now, which is interesting. Now, hopefully this is interesting for some people. Let me know either way. But I do have to do this, right? So this is something that I need to accomplish because I've got a new chapter in another book. And actually, I should put my book up there again because I kind of goofed it up. So yeah, we need a new doodad here. So I'm just goofing around in OBS right now. Just adding in, let's see. Creative Cloud Classroom in a Book. And let's grab that asset. Here we go. Little baby JPEG. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, Sean, how are you? I'm doing some weird stuff today. I'm also fixing OBS on the fly because it goofed up my book. Here we go. That looks better. Yeah. Perfect. Now I've got my little book here. And, you know, yeah. So I hope you're doing well today, Sean. We're doing a little bit of creative coding here inside of Animate. As I've explained to everyone, I am really rusty when it comes to JavaScript. But I'm stepping through it. Right now we've got a little background being drawn, which is fun. Let's open up our content here. There we go. So we got like a nice background, a little gray shape taking over the background of the canvas element. And then we're gonna figure out how to like generate some visuals inside of there, draw things out, fun stuff like that. Yeah, you know nothing about coding. Well, I feel like I know nothing about coding anymore half the time as well. So it used to be what I did all the time. I used to be a software engineer before I did do what I'm doing now. So it's been a few years. But every once in a while I like to go back to it and just play around. And stuff like this makes it, you know, very visual and fun as well. So, yeah. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah, but I got my book back up there now. So I didn't, Sean asked if I updated OBS. I didn't update OBS. I haven't in, I don't know, a few weeks, a month maybe. Is there like a major update that makes things fun that I should know about for OBS? Yeah. So for those who are just joining, at the beginning I mentioned a little advertisement here. So let me bring that up. So the Adobe Creative Cloud Classroom in a Book. So if you know a couple of Adobe Creative Cloud apps and want to just get your feet wet with more, this is a great resource to do it. It does cover all of the major desktop apps. And 35% off, code Lebrec at adobepress.com/Lebrec. And I'm going to be talking about this every Wednesday for the next couple months. So sorry, everybody. I've got to do my part to advertise for Adobe Press. And actually, there's like all of the Classroom in a Book series is on sale right now, I believe, for Adobe Max. So yeah, if you want to learn After Effects or Animate or Photoshop or Illustrator, there are Classroom in a Book titles for all that stuff, and they're on sale for Max. So, oh, major update, different look and stuff you need to dive into. Okay. After my stream today, I am going to have a look at updating OBS to see what's new. Hopefully it doesn't like destroy all my carefully crafted scenes and so forth. I always worry because they don't make it easy, you know, to deal with a lot of stuff inside of OBS. But yeah, an update. I'm always a quick person to update stuff, right? I like updates. All right, so what are we gonna do now? Let's go ahead and draw out. So one thing we could do is we could draw content using the mouse. We could draw content randomly. There are many different approaches to this. So let's create a new function here. And I'm gonna call this draw. Mouse. I want to be explicit. We're gonna draw with the mouse here. And yeah, so we are going to draw with a mouse. Every time we sort of click on the stage, we'll create some kind of colored like circle or something like that to go through and take care of those sorts of things. So what we're going to do, let's see here. If I go ahead, I need to create an event listener. So maybe after, well, I can put it right underneath this function here for drawing with the mouse. Maybe I should call it draw with mouse, because draw mouse sounds like we're going to draw a mouse, which is not what we're doing. I'm going to pass in an event here that we gather from the event listener. So what I'm going to do is add this to my stage, or maybe I'll add it to this. Dot add event listener. Here we go. So add event listener, type. Oops. So we pass in type as a string and then a listener function, right? So kind of simple. So add event listener, and it tells us here too, which is really nice. So we're going to say the type is going to be, let's see, maybe stage mouse down. And that should be a string. So we're going to put that in quotes here. Stage mouse down. And then we got to pass in our function, which is going to be draw with mouse. And that should be all we need to do to add that event listener that's going to fire off this function. So now inside the function, I'm going to do just a simple console.log. And we just want to see what kind of information we have inside of this event that I'm passing through. So this is going to be a stage mouse down event that gets passed through here, right? So the log, oops, I got to spell console right, or it's going to break everything. Oh, it's good to know that it worked on all your scenes, Sean. That makes me feel a little better. I'll do a backup just in case, but Harren, welcome. Hi, how are you? So let's test it out. Open up over here, but that's okay. So I clicked. Let's inspect in our console. Oh no, why? Oh, I think I might know why. I think I need to enable, if I remember correctly, Magento Creativo. Hello, how are you? I think I need to enable certain mouse events in Canvas, if I remember right. So let's say stage dot, oh no, stop stoplight search. I don't care for you. Canvas? Oh, what is it? It's like enable mouse down or no, that's not it. Now I can't remember. See, this is what happens if you don't use this stuff all the time. You just end up forgetting. Yeah. Let's do a little search over here. Use stage mouse down. Oh, you know what? Why am I adding it to this? I should be adding this to BG here. Actually, let's create BG up here. So I'm going to constantly refine my code as I'm going through here. So we're going to declare BG up here, and then it's going to be within this scope, right? So that as we go through, I'm going to be able to actually refer to it in different places. So instead of this, I'm going to say this dot BG add event listener. So I'm adding the event listener to the shape itself, right? And really, I need to put this in after draw BG because the background isn't created yet. And if I try to add it to it, it's going to be like, what are you trying to do to me, Joseph? What are you doing? So let's see. Oopsie. Yeah, new create.js shape. Just say mouse down. I think that would work. Or is it mouse event? You know what? Here. Create.js dot mouse event. There we go. Then I can say here, I think we have to pass in. Wait, mouse event dot click or something like that. So isn't it fun to watch a former software engineer stumble through? And here, so you can see what I'm doing. This is the documentation for Easel.js, which is create.js here. Despite what you might think, I'm actually having a lot of fun with, even though it's kind of goofy. So let's see. We want a method, yes. Oh, look at that, add event listener.click. Gosh, isn't that all I really want? So I've just got this completely like goofy. All right, let's put that back over there. So add event listener. Oh, I don't need that there anymore. Add event listener dot click. Wow, I really complicated that more than it needed to be, I guess. Click. Draw with mouse. And here's draw with mouse right here. It should spit out the event that's coming in. That'd be a mouse event of type click. Let's see if it works. Oh, I don't think it's gonna work because it's not rendering my cube. Unexpected token. So it looks like I have a extra. Oh, yep, right there. Come on, Joseph. Come on, man. So that's the thing with JavaScript. There we go. Look at that, it works now. With JavaScript, like any little thing is going to break. Oh, add event listener, it didn't like that either. Well, shoot. If I just say BG, add event listener. Oh, look at that. It's like, yay, let's do it. Yes, thank you. So it's adding the event listener to our shape. And let's see. Oh, look at that, no errors. Beautiful. Beautiful when there's no errors. Let's go ahead and click on that shape. There we go. Look at that. So inside of here, we get our event listener. We can see it's a type of event, a click event. Mouse click. Current target, it puts in as A, so we can refer to it in that way. The native event is a mouse event. Perfect. Current target for that, yeah, it's going to be our shape, right? And what else do we have here? There we go. This is what we want. So check that out. We've got the raw X and Y and the stage X and stage Y. In this case, it doesn't look like it makes a big difference. Let's go ahead. I don't know what the difference is between the raw X and the stage X. And I think I used to. Let's drag out our stuff again here. Let's look for stage. Yeah, then we need properties. Oh, here's the index here. So let's look for raw X versus stage X. You know, oh, you know what? It's going to be part of the mouse click event. So let's click on click. Oh gosh, that took me to the actual class, which I do not want to see. No, thank you. Go to mouse event instead. Here we go. Perfect. So mouse event. If we look here, we got stage X is the normalized X position relative to the stage. And then raw X is the raw X position relevant to the stage. So that tells us absolutely nothing, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to use stage X because it sounds more more proper to the platform, right? All right, so here we go. BG.add event listener, draw with mouse. So here we can say create a little variable internal to the function called mx for mouse x position. It's going to equal to event dot stage x. Then we're going to create another variable called mouse y, because a mouse always has an x and y position on the stage, right? This is going to grab it from our event listener stage y. Perfect. And then what do we have to do? We need to draw a circle. So let's draw it on bg.graphics once again. So we began our fill. So copy and paste, yay. So bg.graphics.begin fill once again. Yeah, I bet that would give you issues. Sean mentions that his mouse sometimes has a Z position. So yeah, that would screw things up on this platform for sure. Probably with modeling software and stuff, I would imagine, right? That you probably do have a Z position for some things. I mean, like with After Effects, we mentioned After Effects before, you can have a 3D layer. That can absolutely have a Z position. I guess the mouse really can't, because you're not really doing interactive stuff too much with anything you produce in After Effects usually. I know there are certain plugins like Lottie, stuff like that, that you can use to output stuff for interactive platforms. But all right, so background graphics begin fill. So let's create a red. Oh, throwing it. Yeah, that would change the Z position of the mouse for sure. So red, I just happen to know if I want a nice dark red color, 440000 is going to work out just fine. And instead of a rect, let's go ahead and draw a circle. You can see there's a bunch of different little methods inside of Easel.js that we can take advantage of that are pre-built for us, which is beautiful, right? All right, here we go. So we're going to do mx for y and y. That's our mouse x and y. And then we need width and height. So how big do we want it? I don't know. Maybe 20 pixels. So 20 by 20. Sounds like a pretty good circle to me. Okay. Let's test it. Yeah, look at that. Oh gosh. That's great. So, yeah, we've got a functioning program here. It just creates these little things for us. So interesting, like, you can see, like, when I click right there, the dot is showing up, like, offset a bit, right? So actually, what we probably want to do is set mx minus 10 and my minus 10. Or, you know, if you want to do this smart, what we're going to do is set a variable, and we're going to call it r. Or let's just call it, wait, what is it? Radius, right? For a circle? The radius? Yeah, so r equals, we're going to say 20. 20 is going to be the width and height of our circle. And then we can pop that in right here, just reuse it. This is the smart way of doing stuff. So r divided by 2. R divided by 2. This is fun. This is like circumference. Gareth, thank you. Yeah, radius is like half, right? So C. Let's just call it, who gives a shit? Let's call it R. Okay. Let's go ahead and play that back. There we go. Check that out. So now when we click, it shows up right at the tip of our mouse, right? Yeah, I'm not the best at math, not the best at geometrical definitions and terms and phrases and things like that. But doesn't matter if we call it R, it's gonna work, even if it's the circumference, right? All right, cool. So we got that. So the thing is, now we're like clicking and it's generating these things, right? So if we wanted to actually draw, let's try to revert this to stage mouse down and see if it works. Instead of click. I don't know if it's going to work, because I know there's, yeah, it's not working. So I need to look this up. Stage mouse down. Stage class. Yeah, so at some point I'm gonna have to create a little ticker. A ticker inside of create.js is something that just like runs, it's like a heartbeat. And it just runs whatever you determine it to run. By default inside of Animate, it actually runs based on your FPS setting. So if we look here in Animate, let's move that over. Inside of Animate, my FPS setting for this is 24 frames per second, which normally, like on the timeline, right, determines how many frames you need to make up 1 second of motion. Inside of create.js, it also uses the FPS setting by default for its ticker, which is very convenient. Oh, let's see. I know there was something that we usually needed to do for mice. Yeah, stage mouse down. That is what I'm looking for. Dispatch when the user presses their left mouse button. Well, that doesn't tell me that much, does it? Oh, I probably have to bind that to the stage, though, don't I? Like, why would I bind it to... Here, let's look. Wait, I'm on a mouse event. Let's go to stage. Stage. Yeah, so I want to say... Stage. Instead of BG... Yeah, because if it's a stage mouse down, right? I need to bind that to the stage. And that's still not working. And this is one of the reasons, everyone, that I have plotted out the next couple of weeks for continuing this exploration, right? I don't like to do streams more than an hour. Or if we do more than an hour, at least a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to enable mouse stage. Yeah, there's something I need to do. I'm recalling this. There's something I definitely need to do inside of create.js in order to tell it, yeah, listen for like all this stage stuff, or it doesn't register it if I don't, and I can't remember what it is. Enable mouse stage create.js. Enable mouse over, is that it? That might be it. Stage dot enable. I don't know why I don't get autocomplete for that. It's really kind of frustrating. Mouse over, and then you set the frequency. And that frequency is probably determined by, I'm gonna guess milliseconds. Defaults to 20 times a second. Okay, well, let's give it a shot. Nope. Well, my click's working. Why is the click still working? Oh, I want stage mouse over, right? Not down. Right? I don't know. Joseph, what do you even want? I don't know. Well, we know click works. We know stage mouse down works. Stage dot enable mouse over. Oops. Gotta look for easel JS or create JS. How to handle mouse over? Yeah, that's a good question. Exactly. Yeah, enable mouse over. Ooh. Oh, is it just mouse over? Might be just mouse over. I might have been using the wrong thing this whole time. No? Oh, I don't want to do it on the stage. I want to do it on BG. Yeah, this ain't working. Well, I hope you're all learning a lot. But yeah, what about stage mouse move? Right? Let's try this. Here's some different. So stage dot on. So we got add event listener. We also have on. There's like two different ways to do it. I think if I remember correctly, on is the way to do it as like straight up JS type of stuff. And then we're gonna pass in this for context. Well, I can click. Stage mouse down, it just clicks. Well, at least that's working. Over. Yeah, that's not working. Well, this is a good start anyway. It's a good start. So what we're gonna do is, actually, if I change this to click, and I don't want to stage add event listener. You know what I really should do? I really should go ahead and look at, where's my create.js stuff? Easel.js. What if we just do BG on mouse over? Did I do that already? Yeah, see that? So that works. Mouse over. Forget about that. Yeah, none of this is working. I wonder, well, console.log. Yeah, well, I'm not getting anywhere, so I'm gonna probably call it quits pretty soon. But yeah, there is gonna be a part 2 to this, and perhaps even a part 3. So check this out. The mouse over is actually working. When I mouse over, check that out. It is firing off that. And I think maybe I just need to increase the frequency that this is happening. Oh, look at that. Raw X and raw Y are like completely... Oh, wow. It got weird. That could be because I had this on my other screen when I fired that one off. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's why. So we do still have stage X and stage Y. So it's only doing it... It's detecting when I enter. That's why. Mouse over. Oh, yeah. You know what we need to do? We need to check. We need to check the mouse over state, maybe in a ticker, and then draw if we... Yeah, see that? Yeah. So what other events do we have inside of our documentation here, right? For easel.js. This does say we have a stage mouse down. That's so strange. Stage mouse move. Stage mouse move. But I think I have to bind this to the stage. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Look at that. Ooh. Yeah. This is what I'm going for right here. Yeah, so obviously, you know, we probably need the frequency changed. But it works now. Hello. So this is stage mouse move. Right there. We're drawing with the mouse. Still grabbing the stage X and stage Y. Let's set this to 100 instead of the default of 20, right? Go. Well, that's a little better, huh? Fun times. See that? It's all worth it. Let's do... I'm pretty sure this is milliseconds. Let's do... Oh, wait. That couldn't be milliseconds, could it? That's not what sounds. Stage mouse move. Enable mouse over. I need to look this up and see what the frequency is supposed to be here. Mouse over create.js. Go back to the docs. Yeah, so here's the easel.js docs for this. Enable mouse over with frequency. The frequency parameter indicates how many times per second. Times per second. Yeah, so I just need to increase this number. I wonder if there's like an upper limit to it. Actually. Well, let's put in 5,000, see what happens, right? Yeah, it doesn't seem to really change. So I think there must be some kind of an upper limit to this. I mean, per second, if I do it 60 times per second, right? Anyway, it's the hour. I'm not gonna go crazy with this. Let's go ahead and wrap things up, everyone. So yeah, we're gonna continue with this next week. I'm gonna do a little more research now that I've got the groundwork covered. Just move these guys down a little bit. I just like to tidy up my code somewhat before I leave it. So there we go. We'll start off here next time. And see how things are going over here. All right. So everyone, thanks for joining. Thank you, Sean, Gareth, Magento Creativo, rather. Karen, Sackman. Thank you for joining. What we're gonna do now is just kind of close off again. If you're looking for a book around Creative Cloud, there's a book now. So go for it. And thanks everyone. I will be back next Wednesday, same time, and we will continue on with this to do some more stuff. Actually, before I go, we don't need that console log anymore. I'm gonna just remove it. All right, this is looking pretty clean. Awesome. Thanks everyone. Have a good week.